The 2022 Laver Cup was the fifth edition of the Laver Cup, a men's tennis tournament between teams from Europe and the rest of the world. It was held on an indoor hard court at the O2 Arena in London, England from 23 until September 25. This tournament marked the retirement of 20-time singles major champion and former singles world number 1, Roger Federer. The former champion alongside longtime rival Rafael Nadal was narrowly defeated in the third-set super tiebreak against Jack Sock, and Francis Tiafoe. Team World won the title for the first time. Early life. Auger-Aliassime was born in Montreal and raised in L'Ancienne Lorette, a suburb of Quebec City. His father Sam Aliassime is of African descent and emigrated from Togo, and his mother Marie Auger is of French-Canadian descent. He has an older sister Malika who also plays tennis. He started playing tennis at 4 and trained at the Club Avantage as a member of the Académie de Tennis Harrison Bordelou in Quebec City. In 2012, he won the Open Super Orae in the age 11 to 12 category. He has been a member of Tennis Canada's National Training Centre in Montreal since the fall of 2014. Tennis career. Juniors. In February 2015, Auger-Aliassime won his first ITF junior singles title at the G3 in Querétaro. A week later, he won his second straight ITF junior singles title and first doubles title at the G4 in Zapopan. In late August 2015, he won his first junior G1 title with a victory over compatriot Denis Shapovalov in College Park. At the US Open in September 2015, his first junior Grand Slam, he reached the second round in singles and won the doubles title with Shapovalov. In October 2015, Auger-Aliassime and compatriots Denis Shapovalov and Benjamin Seguin won the Junior Davis Cup title, the first time in history for Canada. In December 2015 at the Eddie Hare International Tennis Championship, he won his second G1 singles title after defeating Alex de Minaur in the final. At the junior event of the French Open in June 2016, he reached his first Grand Slam singles final where he was defeated by Jeffrey Blancaneau in 3 sets, despite holding a championship point. In July 2016 at Wimbledon, Auger-Aliassime advanced to the quarter-finals in singles and to the final in doubles with Denis Shapovalov. At the US Open in September 2016, he won the boys' singles title with a straight sets victory over Miomir Kmanovic. He reached the doubles final as well, with fellow Canadian Benjamin Seguin. As a junior, he compiled a singles win-loss record of 79-19. Junior Grand Slam results singles. Australian Open, 3R. French Open, F. Wimbledon, QF. US Open, W. Junior Grand Slam results doubles. Australian Open, 1R. French Open, 2R. Wimbledon, F. US Open, W. 2015-16. In March 2015 at the Challenger Banque Nationale de Drummondville, Auger-Aliassime became the youngest player in history to qualify for an ATP Challenger main draw at 14.5 years old. He defeated compatriot Jack Mingjelin, former world number 67 Chris Guccione and world number 433 Fritz Walmerans to do so. He, however, was forced to withdraw before playing his first round match due to an abdominal strain. With the points earned, Auger-Aliassime once again made history as the first player born in the 2000s to have an ATP ranking. At the Challenger Banque Nationale de Granby in July 2015, he qualified for his second ATP Challenger main draw with victories over fellow Canadian Jack Mingjelin and world number 574 Jean-Yves Aubon. He won his opening round in straight sets over world number 493 Andrew Whittington, becoming the youngest player to win a main draw ATP Challenger match. In the next round, he scored an upset over world number 205 Darian King in straight sets. He was stopped by world number 145 Yoshihito Nishioka in 3 sets in the quarterfinals. After his run to the quarterfinals, Auger-Aliassime became the youngest player ever to break the top 800 on the ADP rankings at No. 749. In May 2016, he reached his first professional singles final at the $10,000 in Lida, falling to Ramkumar Ramanathan. In November 2016, he won his first professional title with a victory over Juan Manuel Benitez Chavariaga at the ITF Futures in Birmingham. The next week at the Futures in Niceville, he captured his first pro doubles title with partner Patrick Kipson. 2017, turning pro, first challenger titles and top 200. In January, Auger-Aliassime reached the final of the ITF Futures in Plantation, but lost to Roberto Cid Suburvi in 3 sets. In March, he won the title in Sherbrooke over Gleb Sakharov, his second ITF Futures. The next week, he advanced to the semifinals of the ADP Challenger $75,000 in Drummondville with a win over world number 124 Peter Polansky, but lost to compatriot and eventual champion Denis Shapovalov. In June at the Open de Lyon, Auger-Aliassime captured his maiden ADP Challenger, becoming the first 16-year-old to win a Challenger singles title since Bernard Tomic in 2009 at the Maccabi Men's Challenger and the 7th youngest in history. In September at the Copa Sevilla, he won his second ADP Challenger title of the season after defeating former world number 56, Inigo Cervantes, in the final. After his win, he became the youngest player to break the top 200 since Rafael Nadal in December 2002 and the second youngest to win multiple ADP Challenger titles, standing behind only Richard Gasquet. 2018, continued Challenger's success and improvement. In February in Budapest, Auger-Aliassime captured his first ADP Challenger doubles title, defeating Marin Draganja and Tomislav Draganja with partner Nikola Kuhn. Auger-Aliassime also made his debut in an ADP main draw at the Rotterdam Open, losing in 3 sets to world number 38, Filip Krajinovic, in the first round. In March at Indian Wells, he qualified for his first ADP Masters 1000 main draw. He faced fellow Canadian Vasek Pospisil in the first round, defeating him in straight sets to win his first tour-level match. He was defeated in the next round by another compatriot, Milos Raonic. In April, Auger-Aliassime was awarded a wild card for the Monte Carlo Masters where he lost his opener in 3 sets to world number 55, Misha Zverev. In June at the ADP Challenger in Lyon, he successfully defended his title with a victory over Johan Tatlot in the final and became the youngest player in history to defend an ADP Challenger title. In August, Auger-Aliassime received a wild card to compete in the main draw of the 2018 Rogers Cup. In the first round, he defeated Lucas Poerl and in the second round, he was defeated by Daniil Medvedev. Auger-Aliassime earned a spot through 3 qualifying matches to reach the main draw of the US Open. He then retired in the first round against countryman Denis Shapovalov after suffering from heart palpitations brought on by extreme heat. 2019, Masters Semi-Final, 3 ADP Finals, Davis Cup Final. At age 18, Auger-Aliassime became the youngest ever ADP 500 finalist with his win over Pablo Cuevas to reach the Rio Open title match. In the final, he lost to Laszlo Air in straight sets. At his next tournament in Sao Paulo, Auger-Aliassime lost to Air again, this time in the quarterfinals. At the Indian Wells Masters, he achieved his first victory against a top 10 player, defeating Stefanos Tsitsipas in straight sets in the second round. At the Miami Open, Auger-Aliassime beat Nicolas Basilashvili in the 4th round and Borna Coric in the quarterfinals to become the youngest semi-finalist in the tournament's history. In the semi-finals, he lost to defending champion and eventual runner-up John Isner in 2 tight sets. Despite leading by a break in both sets. He received a wild card to play in the Madrid Open. Auger-Aliassime made it to the second round where he was defeated by Rafael Nadal in straight sets. At the Lyon Open, he worked his way into his second ATP final, by beating John Millman, Steve Johnson, and Nicolas Basilashvili, the number 1 seed. He was then defeated by Benoit Paire in straight sets. In the Mercedes Cup he made it to his third final, by defeating experienced players like Ernest Skulbis, Jill Simon, and Dustin Brown. He received a walkover into the final when Milos Raonic withdrew. In the final he was defeated by Matteo Berrettini, despite having set points to win the second set. At Queen's Club, Auger-Aliassime defeated Grigor Dimitrov and Nick Kyrgios. Both matches were played on the same day as the tournament program was delayed by rain earlier during the week. In the quarterfinals, he recorded his second win against Stefanos Tsitsipas. Auger-Aliassime lost in the semi-finals to eventual champion Feliciano Lopez. At Wimbledon he entered as the 19th seed and earned his first victory as a pro in the slams, by defeating compatriot Vasek Pospisil. After beating Corentin Moutet in 4 sets, he was stopped by Hugo Humbert in the third round. At the US Open he lost in the first round to Denis Shapovalov for the second straight year. 2020, 3 more ATP singles finals, first doubles title. At the 2020 Australian Open, Auger-Aliassime lost in the first round to Ernest Skulbis. Auger-Aliassime was seeded 15th at the 2020 US Open and advanced to the fourth round after defeating Thiago Monteiro, Andy Murray, and Corentin Moutet in the first 3 rounds. He then lost in straight sets to the second seed and eventual champion Dominic Thiem. Auger-Aliassime then participated in the rescheduled French Open, where he fell to Yoshihito Nishioka in the first round. In October, he reached the final of the BETT1HULKS Indoors Tournament in Cologne, Germany, losing to home favorite, Alexander Zverev. Auger-Aliassime claimed the doubles title at the Paris Masters with partner Hubert Hurkacz, saving 5 championship points in his first doubles final. 2021, US Open semi-final, 2 singles and 1 doubles finals, Olympics and top 10. At the 2021 Australian Open, Auger-Aliassime lost in the fourth round to Russian qualifier Aslan Karatsev, despite being 2 sets to love up. In April, he hired Rafael Nadal's uncle and former coach Tony Nadal as a new coach ahead of the clay court season. At the French Open, Auger-Aliassime lost in the first round to Andreas Seppi. He also lost his 8th final at the 2021 Stuttgart Open final to Marin Ili. At the Halle Open he reached the semi-finals by defeating 10-time tournament champion and 5th seed, Roger Federer in the second round to secure his 4th top 10 victory. However, Federer's right knee, for which he underwent 2 surgeries in 2020, started hurting again in Halle 2021, as confirmed by Federer's coach, Ivan Ljubičić, which hampered Federer's performance a lot against Auger-Aliassime, and Federer went on to lose that match. The injury was serious as Federer would undergo surgery on that knee yet again after the grass court season in 2021. Félix then defeated qualifier Marcos Giron in the quarterfinals but lost to the eventual champion Hugo Humbert. In the same tournament in doubles he reached the final partnering Hubert Hurkacz but lost to third-seeded German Kevin Krawitz and Romanian Horia Tecu. At Wimbledon, he reached his first Grand Slam quarter-final with a 5-set win over world number 6 and 4th seed Alexander Zverev, beating the German 6-4, 7-6, 3-6, 3-6, 6-4 for only the 5th top 10 win of his career. He became the 5th Canadian man to reach the Wimbledon quarterfinals after 10th seed Denis Shapovalov did so in the same tournament. It marked the first time that 2 Canadian men together reached a Grand Slam quarterfinal. With this successful run he entered the top 15 in the rankings. He then lost to 7th seed and eventual finalist Matteo Berrettini 3-6, 7-5, 5-7, 3-6 in the quarter-finals. At the rescheduled 2020 Tokyo Olympics, Auger-Aliassime was set to play defending gold medalist Andy Murray in the first round. However, Murray withdrew from singles due to a calf injury, and Auger-Aliassime was upset by his replacement, 190th ranked Australian Max Purcell. At the 2021 City Open, seeded second, Auger-Aliassime was upset by 130th ranked American wildcard Jenson Brooksby in the third round. At the 2021 National Bank Open, seeded ninth, Auger-Aliassime was upset by Dusan Lajovic in the second round. At the US Open, Auger-Aliassime reached his maiden major semi-finals following wins over 18th seed Roberto Bautista Agut, Francis Tiafoe, and Carlos Alcaraz. There, he lost to world number 2 Daniil Medvedev in straight sets. He became the youngest player to play in the semi-finals since 2009. Following his run at the US Open, Félix reached a career-high ATP World number 11 ranking on September 13, 2021. He reached the semi-finals at the 2021 Stockholm Open where he lost to defending champion fellow Canadian Denis Shapovalov. As a result, he entered the top 10 on November 15, 2021. 2022 ATP Cup winner, 4 titles, major quarters, 150th career and 2 world number 1 wins. Auger-Aliassime started his 2022 season at the ATP Cup, in which he was part of the winning team. He played for Canada along with teammate Denis Shapovalov where they defeated Roberto Bautista Agut and Pablo Carreño Busta, who played for Spain, in the final. As a result, he hit a new career high of world number 9 on January 10, 2022. Auger-Aliassime subsequently entered the Australian Open seeded 9th, where he beat Emil Ruusuvuori in the first round in 5 sets, despite receiving a bagel in the second set. He beat Alejandro Davidovich Fokina in the second round, and defeated 24th seed Dan Evans in the third. He defeated 27th seed Marin Ili in the fourth round, before losing to number 2 seed Daniil Medvedev in 5 sets in the quarter-finals. Auger-Aliassime entered the 2022 Rotterdam Open seeded third. After wins against Edgar Gerasimov, Andy Murray, Cameron Norrie, and Andrei Rublev, Auger-Aliassime faced top seed Stefanos Tsitsipas in the final. He beat Tsitsipas in straight sets, winning his first ATP Tour title after a record of 0-8 in previous finals. Auger-Aliassime entered the 2022 Open 13 Provence and again reached the finals after straight set wins against Jo-Wilfried Tsonga, Ilya Ivashka, and Roman Safiullin, but lost to Andrei Rublev in straight sets. Auger-Aliassime withdrew from the 2022 Dubai Tennis Championships with a back injury. He was to be seeded third. He entered the 2022 Indian Wells Masters seeded 9th, and lost to Botic van de Zandschulp in the second round. At the French Open, Auger-Aliassime won his first match at this tournament and came back from 2 sets to love down for the first time in his career to beat Juan Pablo Varillas in the first round. He then beat another qualifier, Camilo Hugo Carabelli, and Filip Krajinovic in straight sets to set up a fourth-round encounter with Rafael Nadal. There he became only the third player after Novak Djokovic and John Isner to take Nadal to 5 sets at this tournament. At the 2022 National Bank Open, Auger-Aliassime lost in the quarterfinals to Casper Ruud after defeating Cameron Norrie in the third round. At the Cincinnati Masters, Auger-Aliassime reached his 4th back-to-back quarterfinal at a Masters 1000 level in the season, defeating Jannik Sinner after saving 2 match points. Next he was upset by eventual winner Borna Coric. At the US Open, Auger-Aliassime lost in the second round to Jack Draper in straight sets. Auger-Aliassime made 41 unforced errors compared to just 17 by Draper. At the 2022 Davis Cup group stage, Auger-Aliassime upset US Open champion and world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz. At the Firenze Open, he won his second title with a win over J.J. Wolf in the final. He won his second consecutive title and third overall title in Antwerp, defeating Sebastian Corda in the final. He reached a third consecutive final in Basel, recording his second victory of the year over world number 1 Alcaraz in the semi-finals in the process. He defeated Holger Rune in the final in straight sets, winning his third consecutive title, and fourth overall. He became the third player in the season to win an ATP Tour title without dropping a service game, the other two being Taylor Fritz and Nick Kyrgios. In the process he recorded his 50th win of the year and 150th of his career against Miomir Kecmanovic in the second round. At the Paris Masters, he reached the semi-finals, recording his first match victory against qualifier Mikael Ymer, in a 3-tight set match with 2 tiebreaks that lasted 3 hours and 30 minutes. He defeated retiring Gilles Simon for his 15th win to reach his 5th back-to-back Masters 1000 quarter-final. The previous day on November 2, he also qualified for his first ATP Finals. In the quarter-finals, Auger-Aliassime defeated Francis Tiafoe and thus recording his 16th straight win and the second longest streak for the season behind Nadal's 20 wins. As a result of this run he guaranteed himself the world number 6 spot in the rankings on November 7, 2022. He lost to Holger Rune in the semi-finals, ending his 17-match winning streak in a repeat of the Swiss Open title match. Playing style. Auger-Aliassime is an all-court tennis player. His favorite surface is clay. His favorite shot is the forehand, and his favorite tournament is the Rogers Cup, because it is played in his hometown of Montreal. Auger-Aliassime also possesses a strong serve and moves well around the court. He is able to generate power easily off both wings, but is sometimes prone to unforced errors. Additionally, Félix plays with high intensity at each point, which can wear down his opponents during long matches. Career statistics. Grand Slam tournament singles performance timeline.